Hello and welcome everybody. Domenic Panza for the Marauders Sports Broadcasting Network and welcoming you into the Greg Colby Show. I'm joined by Millersville head football coach Greg Colby. Coached this past weekend against Kutztown, a difficult loss, a 10-point loss, but ultimately they're a pretty good team, so you have to be somewhat pleased with how the Marauders played.
Well, yeah, they're a good football team, and they're playing well. When you start winning football games, you gain confidence. You start doing things that maybe you normally wouldn't do, play above your head, and play as well as you can. And Kutztown certainly is playing very well right now. I'd like to say I was happy with some things that happened Saturday, but it's hard to do that when the things that we're doing wrong right now are things that are causing us to lose the games, and they're not things that have anything to do with lack of ability or with a difference in ability with the team we're playing. So that part is very, very frustrating right now. We're not playing the kind of disciplined football from a technique standpoint that we need to play to put us in a position to make plays. Now we are sometimes. There are times that we're playing well on both sides of the ball and in special teams, and there were flashes of that again on Saturday. And again, the consistency is what's hurting us right now, and it's what's keeping us from being able to get back in the win column, and that's our biggest frustration and our biggest point of emphasis right now.
You had the lead for a good portion of the first half. Can you reflect on that, and then ultimately that changing opportunity where you had a chance to score, eventually it comes up with nothing, and Kutztown winds up scoring at the end of the half?
Yeah, I think that was a big turnaround in the momentum of the game because we were playing well early on both sides of the ball. Our offense was moving the ball. They marched right down the field, and the defense was doing what we needed to. Other than the first series, defensively, we gave up a big play where they split two of our defenders, and really, it's a technique that our guys have worked on 1,000 times, and we really should be able to perform that and defend that pass, and we didn't, and gave up that play, and that again is kind of the story of the ball game. But we were playing well, and guys were upbeat on the sideline and feeling good about what we were doing, and then we get the turnover, and we're really, really excited, and then our offense can't convert. Can't move the ball, and then we missed the field goal, which was very close as it was. But again, that you lose a lot of that momentum when that happens, when you get that kind of a turnaround. Then they come back, and I think they scored either that or the next series, and then it's basically a 14-point turnaround in the ball game, which in essence might have been the difference in the football game. So yeah, that was a big time in the game and a big series. And after that, I think is when we start seeing some of our miscues start popping up more than we had in the first quarter and a half. So I think that was a critical point in the game.
Tell us about the resiliency of this team. You never went away this past weekend. I don't expect it's going to happen the rest of the season either.
Well, the sun came up Sunday morning, and everybody showed up for practice and for meetings, and that's the thing that, I got to give our guys credit. It's as frustrating as it is this year because I think we expected to have a better season than we're having right now. Our guys have never not come out with a great attitude, never not come out working their tails off. There's been some lulls here and there, and that's typical, whether you're a championship team or not. But our guys have responded. They've done what we've asked them to do, and that's why I think we've always got a chance. I think we've got a chance to win our last 4 ball games. I think we match up pretty well against who we're playing, and I think I'm confident that we can correct the mistakes that we're making and get more consistent. And you have a little bit of the injury bugaboo that's hurting us right now, but that is what it is, and everybody has that problem. So our guys have done a good job from the attitude standpoint. Attitude and effort are two things that we talk about all the time, and our guys, that part has not been lacking.
Well, Kutztown was able to come away with a 10-point victory this past weekend. We're going to change gears now. First, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about this coming week in practice. Could you give everybody maybe an insight as to what this week is like for you and the rest of the guys?
Well, we have 2 hard practices. Tuesday and Wednesday are our hard practices. We go about an hour and 45 minutes, and it's pretty physical. This week we're really going to emphasize doing the little things right. We're going to try to cut back on the things that we ask our guys to do so that what they are doing they can really focus on and line up and perform their technique and perform their position technique. So that we can get a lot of reps doing things the correct way. And then hopefully that'll carry on the game, and we'll have fewer miscues like we had on Saturday. I told our guys I'm not in a real good mood, and I won't be in a real good mood until we come back and play the way we should play. And so from that standpoint, it may not be quite as fun as maybe it sometimes is. But that's the way I think the game works, and we've got to get out there, and it's got to be business, and we got to get after it a little bit.
This weekend it's ESU. Their record's 1-6. How misleading is that record?
Very much. You watch them play. They're not making the plays that they've made in the past, and they're not making the plays, say, a Kutztown is making. And but they've got good football players. They've got a big, tall quarterback. He's got a strong arm, and he'll make a great play, and then he'll make a not so great play. And that's just kind of how their season's going. I think all around. They make it real difficult for you, especially on their offensive side of the ball. They've done every offense that you can imagine. They'll line up and chain these triple option, then they'll line up and run an empty and throw the ball all over the field, and they're doing all sorts of things. So they force you to defend a lot of different things, which cuts down on the amount of time you can focus on any one thing, and it makes it tough on a defensive side. On their defense, they're just a physical football team. They like to play fundamentally sound and get after you and play physical, and that's something we've got to come out. We've got to match that physical play, and or exceed it, to have a chance to win this football game.
Finally, Coach, it is homecoming week. For you, it's your third homecoming. Tell us about the atmosphere that has typically provided.
Well, homecoming is a great time of the year, and it's great when you're an alum coming back to watch the game. As far as the team and the coaching staff, it doesn't affect us as much as maybe it does the people who are coming back. It does in one respect that deep down you really want to put on a good show for the alumni, and you want to win for the alumni, and you want it to be a good experience for them to come back and see that their school and their alma mater is doing well. So from that standpoint, yeah, that's always in the back of your mind. But first and foremost, we've got to focus on East Stroud, and it doesn't matter whether it's homecoming or the first game or the last game or playing up in Timbuktu. We've got to come out and do certain things, and that's what we have to focus on.
All right, Coach, best of luck, and we look forward to this weekend's game, homecoming this weekend at 1:30. For Greg Colby, this has been The Greg Colby Show. I'm Domenic Panza for MSBN. We'll talk to you soon.